When you look at all of the other teams in the league that are supposed to be good this year, like the New England Patriots, a team that was supposed to have playoff aspirations, but they're sitting at 1-5, maybe our situation isn't as bad as what we think. Welcome back, everybody, to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs channel. My name is Greg Sykes. Thank you for joining us. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to the Washington Commanders, formerly known as the Washington Redskins. So if you still call them Redskins, HTTR to you, buddy. So anyway, this video is about trying to put in perspective so far of the season. So we're 6 games into the season and we're sitting at 3-3. Should be probably 4-2, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it could be worse, right? You could be a team like the Patriots, for instance, who are at 1-5, a team that has suffered a couple of massive losses, like huge losses, the biggest losses in Bill Belichick's history as a New England coach. And you know that he's on the hot seat. So, you know, looking at teams like that, you see the Vikings, they're what, 2-3 maybe? I don't know. The Vikings have only won a couple of games this year. This is probably Kirk Cousins last year in Minnesota. You know, you just look around the league at some of the teams that we figured were supposed to be, you know, taking that next step or supposed to have rebuilt, and, you know, really challenging. And those teams are just awful. And you look at our team and we're complaining. I'm complaining because, you know, the team seems to be stuck in this mediocrity of you know, .500. Can't seem to shake the 3-3, the 8-8s, you know, that, right? And it's been that way for a long time. And we were hoping that Ron Rivera's regime would come in and boost it over the edge. And we feel like that hasn't been the case. Now, there are a lot of, well, I don't want to say a lot, but I've had a couple of comments on my channel, huge, long comments that are definitely pro Ron Rivera, talking about how, you know, this is, you know, you got to give them time and stuff like that. And you know, this isn't the 91 Redskins. We know that, but this is a talented team. This is a team that is better than 3-3. I mean, come on. They're a team that should not have gotten beat by an 0-4 Chicago Bears team. I mean, let's get real. On prime time in their house and getting beat by 40, having 40 points being hung on them. So, you know, that, I think that's the whole crutch of the whole argument is, you know, with Ron Rivera, yeah, you could say that, well, this is his best start since he's been here, because you look at the other seasons at this point, we're like 2-4, 1-4, whatever. We're 3-3. I mean, that margin is very thin. So you could make that argument that, well, we are doing better, but I mean, are we? I think this team is still heading toward missing the playoffs this year, and I think that that's probably going to be Ron Rivera's fate. I would be extremely surprised if this coaching staff is here next season. There would have to be a very good reason for Josh Harris to want to keep this coaching staff, but I would have to say that it's not just on Josh Harris. I mean, yeah, ultimately it is his decision, right? But it's not just Josh Harris. It is Magic Johnson. He's very vocal. You know, he is very much involved. People don't realize he's not just a figurehead. He's very much involved, and he's going to be very much involved in this ownership and in decisions. I truly believe that. And Mitchell Rales, you know, we don't talk about him enough, but Mitchell Rales is probably going to want to make some decisions as well. I think ultimately Mitchell Rales will probably leave a lot of the decisions ultimately to Johnson and Harris, but he wants to make sure that his investments are true and successful. So, having said all that, I really feel that this is Ron Rivera's last year, but the overall gist is, compared to some of the other teams out there who had high expectations, is our situation that bad? No, our situation is not that bad. We have an opportunity. We have the talent. We have the opportunity that this team can still have a great season. You got to beat the Giants, and you're going to have to beat the Eagles the next time you have a home game. You got to give the fans something to cheer about. And that would be, fans have sold out that game. So you've got to give them something to cheer about there. If after 2 weeks you're 5-3, okay, suddenly maybe we start talking about the Commanders again, and suddenly maybe things are looking up again. But I think until then, we look at a lot of the issues on offense and how the offense was kind of stagnant in this last game. I don't think that Eric Bieniemy called a very good game against Atlanta. And we were not behind in that game, so why did we not run the football more? And the times we did run the football, I didn't exactly love the calls. So, we can get a little bit more creative on offense, and we can also run the football more. That was the other argument from the pro-Ron crowd of, well, you guys were complaining about Ron Rivera being a dinosaur, which that was not my argument, but I realized that people are going to choose somebody who's talking about, say, but, they're saying that, you guys are saying that Ron Rivera is a dinosaur, and then, talking about him wanting to be 2-1 rushing as opposed to passing, and then you're complaining because he's not running the football enough. And I'm like, no, you look at last season, we won football games because we were running the football. We were dominating the time of possession. And we should be doing that again this year. We should be keeping some of these high-flying offenses off of the field. That's how you beat those offenses. You just don't give them opportunities. And I think if you do that, you're going to give yourselves more of a chance to win. And you can still put up big numbers. You can still, pass the football around. But I think right now, Eric Bieniemy is still trying to work his way into the mind frame that, this is not Kansas City. This is Washington. So you got to look at, your players of who you got to work to their strengths. I think that's all that I'm really trying to say. Folks, let me know in the comments what you think. Share your thoughts on it. Am I just pumping smoke? Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe it's the cold medicine. As you can tell, I'm still nasally. I'm still sick. Been sick for a month, but, you know, it is what it is. We still chug on. Folks, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, give it a share. Please consider subscribing to the Washington Football Maniacs if you haven't already done so. And when you do, make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when a video gets released for your viewing enjoyment. With that said, I will see you in the next one.